Thank you. My name is David Ongo. I work as a thematic
Can you make
expert
up?
at
Yeah, okay,
the
perfect. Yeah.
I work at the IGAD Climate and Prediction IGAD Climate Prediction and Application Center (ICPAC) in Nairobi as a Earth observation thematic expert. So I will quickly run on what we do at ICPAC and try to merge it with some of the things that we do under the GMES and Africa Consortium. So allow me to start with the introduction, what ICPAC is. So ICPAC was a drought monitoring center here in Nairobi back in 1989. And then in 2007, there was a protocol that was signed between the Drought Monitoring Center and the IGAD, now the IGAD to form ICPAC. So from then, we've been moving, trying to bring in new members into the fold to continue to grow the center. And over the time, ICPAC has been designated as a regional climate center for the Eastern Africa. It holds also a membership under the AUC NEPAD as a water center of excellence, and also an observer status within the UNFCCC. Currently, we are serving the whole region, that is the Greater Horn of Africa, with 11 countries. We have both the countries that are within the IGAD countries, and then the other countries that are served within the ICPAC, making 11 member countries, serving around more than 300 million people. So over the time, we've been moving from the initial drought monitoring to many of the services that are all coined around climate services. So in relation to that, we have a number of key products and services that we're currently working on, including climate monitoring and forecasting, which I'll explain more. We have a very robust disaster risk management. There is issues to do with agriculture and food security, water resources, environmental monitoring, where GMES and Africa is actually sitting. And then we have climate change, capacity development, climate information and production. So the idea that ICPAC is trying to come up with is to fuse the issues around climate monitoring from very few hours to the whole climate change scenario that is over 60 or 35 plus years, and in order to help in strategic planning and scenario building. So it's a synergy between almost present monitoring to going back and also projecting into the future. So we have different timescales in which we are observing and looking at the forecasting mechanisms from very few hours, weekly, monthly, seasonal, all the way to climate change. And response to that, we are looking at response and relief, preparedness planning, and also strategic planning and scenario building in order to help relieve people that might be affected by a number of scenarios as a result of climate change. So I'll just like to point one particular area under this particular category is this, I don't know whether, yeah, this particular scenario. I think for the East African region, we've not been experiencing anything like cyclones. But recently, I think if you've been watching the news, we had Cyclone Hidaya hitting very close to Tanzania and very close, around 300 kilometers away from the coast of Kenya. We had Cyclone Ali. So within the region, we're also experiencing some extensive sort of new phenomena that are not used to this particular region. And that makes ICPAC's work very, very important in relation to monitoring some of these conditions. A few years ago, between 22, actually 2 years ago, we had the desert locust, something that has never happened for a very long period of time. But because of the issues related to climate changes, we are now experiencing some new phenomena. I cannot even emphasize issues to do with flooding and also drought around this region. Currently, we're experiencing a lot of drought, especially in Kenya and Tanzania. And it's already projected that in a year or so, we'll be also experiencing a drought of the similar magnitude. So in relation to all that, ICPAC is trying to move away from the normal reporting of a hazard, but to include the impact-based forecast. Like in case when an event occurs, how much impact is it likely to cause, and how much damage is it likely to cause to the member states. That is the 11 member states. So we have a number of platforms that we've put in place in order to monitor some of the conditions. We have the East Africa Drought Watch, which has a number of indicators from precipitation, soil moisture, and we are also looking at vegetation just to make sure that we're able to inform people in advance of eventuality in case of an event happens. We have the Hazards Watch. We also have the Agriculture Monitoring for Eastern Africa, and then the Water Watch. So in that, we're also doing a lot in relation to using the Earth observation data, particularly rainfall data. We have a wide network of ground stations where we are able to merge, blend the graded data and the available ground station data in order to just trying to improve the accuracy of the data for forecasting purposes. So in relation to GMES and Africa, GMES and Africa is a project that is being funded by EU and also managed by the Africa Union. ICPAC is the lead consortia for East Africa. We're having a number of institutions within the region, including the Uganda Wildlife Service. We have the Kenya Forest Service in Kenya. We're having some others in Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and among countries that are forming our consortia. So we are using Earth observation data to monitor three aspects. We have the tropical forest monitoring. We call it the East Africa Forest Watch. We have the natural habitat monitoring, and also we have the regional seasonal monitoring. All these are using a number of Earth observation data, both from Copernicus as well as other providers of data. So we have a number of platforms that enable us also to disseminate some of the products that have come up from some of the analysis that we've done, where you can be able to log in and discover most of the data sets that can help you understand the rangelands. We have issues, data sets like the NDVI, the dry matter productivity. We have FPA, FCover. We have leaf area indexed for a number of regions. And then specifically, we are using the same data sets to monitor rangelands and protected areas at different scales. We have in the national scale, like this particular one, I'm able to showcase Kenya. We have
2 minutes, David.
Okay, we have in the hotspot level that is at a level of protected area. This is Tsavo in Kenya. We are able to see the trend in the vegetation presence, the vegetation condition within the protected areas. This is drought condition within the regional level, but also you can also be able to view it from a protected area. This is a periodic, like time series drought condition from way back or to a few days into the future. I think I'll move just to show you case few other land use and land cover things that we're able to do. We have the East Africa Forest Watch, which is already up for any person who is willing to or rather interested in this. We have fire monitoring within some of the protected areas. Yeah, so I think I'll just stop it at this point. Probably allow for anyone who has a question. But just to wind up, we have the carbon emission reporting tools that we are almost finalizing, but it's also already incorporated into the East Africa Forest Watch, where you're able to see areas that have been highly degraded in relation to carbon accounting. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is really interesting talk, and then thanks very much for your on time. And also, I would like to remind that please mute your micros, that we don't hear any echoes. So now I would like to open this the session for questions. 5 questions. I have seen some of the question in the chat. Let's go through that. I think now I can see that either drought in the Eastern Africa, we have, okay, this is the comment, I think, by this Laban. If you want to make more comment, then please tell us. Let me see if another question. Okay, that's it. Okay, you can chat. You can do it in the chat. But if somebody wants to ask question to David,
there is. Let me respond to Laban Maio. Yeah, I was just trying to allude that currently, yes, we're experiencing the long rains, El Nino. It's sort of above average rain within the region. But I just mentioned that it's already projected in the next maybe 2-3 years, we might be experiencing drought of similar magnitude as what we're experiencing now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, David. Any more questions to David? Please go ahead, because I don't see your if you are raising hands, but just, yeah, Maurice, Manika, please.
Yes, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. The presentation is beautiful, and I've loved the way you have displayed your data or your information on the various. My question was basically on the one that you have displayed in terms of points. There was a map where you're showing us data in terms of points, indicated the hotspots for. I don't know whether you're able to quickly go to that map. Okay. Anyway, my main contribution was just to appreciate the way you have displayed your data. And I think it is something that is easy to communicate, especially to the users who may be interested to just get overview or quick information about what you are presenting. Yeah, but my main question was on the one that you have presented using points to say.
But I think slides will be available, so you can also contact with this to David in my email. But
okay, all right, thank you.
Let's go to
Thank
Albano Santos.
Yes, good afternoon to all of you. Just a good presentation from David. And Albano de Santo, and I work for SASCAO. SASCAO is also an institution linked to the climate change and land management, land adaptation and management in Southern African area. And we also work, we are also collaborating with within GMES and Africa project. And I'm just looking maybe for an opportunity where we can also showcase in other sessions, or maybe next time with you for us to showcase our product and service, and maybe to exchange some of methodologies and see the best way where we can improve our products and services that we have.
Sure, that will be good. Albano, please write in the chat your contact addresses, so that maybe we could invite you for the webinar, also the next our coming next webinars, and also for the further collaboration.